Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Double Cross Anime, the podcast. I'm Whooper, and I'm joined, as always, by.
Mario,
This
nice to
is
meet you.
this is episode 11, right, Mario?
Yep.
Okay. And to quickly summarize the shows and episodes that we'll be discussing, it's going to be Megalobox, episode 4, same episode number for Hina Matsuri, Piano no Mori, episode 3, and we're all the way back on episode 2 for Hisone to Masotan, because it releases on Saturdays, and it's just a little bit further back than all the other shows. And also, we've got Rose of Versailles. That's episodes 11 through 15 because we're taking that one in 5 episode chunks.
hmm
And that's what we'll be covering. So where should any little words you want to get in before we start, or do you want to pick which one we'll discuss first? What are you feeling?
Um. Yep. Let's just pick the one.
Okay, which one should we pick?
Um. Piano no Mori.
Okay, that's a bold pick because I think we were both a little dissatisfied with episode 2 last week.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll ask straight off the bat.
Well,
How
well,
did
well,
you?
let me ask you first.
Oh, guys, maybe first.
Like,
Okay.
yeah. So last week, we wasn't keen about Piano no Mori, so we want to trade it off with Golden Kamui. But you told me just a few days ago that you watched the second episode of Golden Kamui and you didn't like it at all.
I said
Tell
I
me
was
more about that, man.
I said I was passing out
Yeah, you were passing out.
as I was watching that. And the second episode of Wotakoi as well.
Really,
Um,
like I feel like I'm the only one who like prefer the second episode of Watercoin than the first, because everyone I know seem to hate the second episodes.
I think for me the two things that really bugged me about the second episode were, one, it's production. It's like low production value, I guess.
Yeah,
Just
is that are we talking about Watercoin now?
yeah. Well, I mean
Yeah,
this
all right,
applies to
yeah.
both of those shows, but
Uh huh.
yeah, Wotakoi, not necessarily like a lack of animation or like wonky kind of quote unquote quality
Mm-hmm.
animation. It was just the simple way that every single scene was staged. Kind of,
Uninspiring.
yeah. It just felt like I've seen my fair share of office comedies in anime, and even like office kind of dramas. Did you ever watch Hataraki Man? Hataraki Man, I
Uh,
guess you would say.
I heard about that, but I never watch it.
It was a Noitamina show
Yep.
from the mid 2000s, and it was
Yeah,
about like
2005, I think.
okay, it was about like um what it's like to be a working woman in a male dominated industry.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yep.
show that show looked like, most of the time it looked like trash. But it had a fair bit of heart to it. I would say about half the episodes were like really engrossing, made me want to keep watching. In Wotakoi, the other problem is that I don't care about the couple, and
Hmm.
especially the scene with the elevator where like she's pressing down on the
Yep, yep,
elevator
yep,
button, and he's like
yep.
got his hand up against the wall, and she like the elevator doors open, and it's such a clear metaphor for like, oh, this is my chance to get out of this
It's.
relationship, or to get out of
Mm-hmm.
the idea of like two otaku being together, or to get out of the idea that I'm an otaku. It was such a clear, like insultingly clear metaphor that I just didn't it just turned me off.
All right. I actually like two factors in that episode. First was the meta choke. So like every time there's a machine voice of like she going to she going to leave now and stuff like when that happened I really enjoy that.
What joke
And
was this?
you know like there's is a game voice. Whenever like she want to do something, that they're gonna be an option. She gonna run away. She
Oh,
gonna talk to
yes.
them.
Like
So
there was like a video game
yeah,
box showed up, and you like choose your,
yep,
yeah, I know what you mean. Oh yes,
yes,
and that woman's voice comes on. It sounds very robotic like this.
yep, That's right. I really enjoy that.
Okay.
And another thing was like when all four of them go to the CDs, DVDs. I actually feel very related to that. Like I know the feeling of like staying up for hours just like looking at all the discs that you like.
Right. Yeah,
I've
I
been
mean,
through that, so I really related to that.
okay. I can relate to that too. Um, but I don't know if I can like I can understand the kind of people that the characters are, but I I don't really want
Care
them
for
to
that.
I don't really want them to be together, and I don't care about their jobs
Yep.
or any of that.
All
Um,
right. Tell me a bit about Golden Kamuy
oh,
then.
do I have to?
All right. let's not if you don't want to.
No, I really don't want to. I'm not a fan.
All right.
I
Let's get to Piano no Mori now.
All right, cool. So how did you find this episode in comparison to the last one, or just in general?
Well, I think this one pick up a bit of pace. Like the second episode was really bad. Like it,
Yeah.
this one though I feel like when they get to the tournament things, we have something to look forward to. The production was still very stiff to me,
Yeah, it is. It is.
and there was like a girl out of nowhere that having an act of herself that like we didn't have any like proper introduction to, like uh but like I like her. I do like
You
her, so it's
you
alright for
did or
me.
you didn't like her?
I do, yes. So
Yeah.
yes, I did.
Okay. I was I was okay with her. The thing that was strange to me about her was the stuff about like the bathroom stall and uh, her petting Kai's hair because it reminded her of her dog. That was all kind of weird.
Oh, it's real, right? But yes, I know the show intent, so intention. So I'm alright with that. I can put up with that.
Yeah, I can too. But the thing that really attracted me to the show after the first episode was that I mean I think you and I disagreed about this, but I liked the way the kids were portrayed. I thought it was pretty
Natural.
yeah, pretty much. I don't think we agreed on that, or maybe I'm
Hmm.
misremembering.
No, yep. We not agree on that. We
Okay.
didn't agree on that. Yep.
Okay. So my problem with the girl acting that way was like, if she's caught crying in a stairwell, she's
Hmm.
gonna be extremely vulnerable first of all, and she's not gonna want to open up that part of herself. Especially when Kai was the thing that I really liked about that scene near the end when Kai runs into her is like she's crying. You would expect him to be like, oh, what's the matter? Oh, let's work out your problem and we're gonna be friends now. But instead, he's a complete, brat,
Yep.
and he's like, oh, do I really have to deal with this right now? And he just starts to walk away.
Hmm.
Of course, they do end up fixing all her problems, and they do end up becoming friends. But I liked Kai's end of their conversation. Hers, I didn't. I wasn't wild about. I just didn't think that she would open herself up that way.
Well, I because she got what they call a fright stage.
Stage fright.
So
Yeah.
stay fright. So I think it do have a merit. Like when she freak out before the performance, and then she just want to let it all out. So I do think that like when she open up that bit, that that is reasonable.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I
You're probably
the
right.
thing yeah, the thing I don't like about the performance on the tournaments as a whole is how Shuhei, like when he played the piece like flawlessly, he just
Yeah.
think that to himself that, oh my god, I already won the tournaments, and everyone seemed to think so as well, like on
Yeah.
the judges, on the audience, and it's just way too obvious to me.
I don't think I agree. I mean, he's clearly thought of as the best. He's got a famous father. He kind of has a reputation of his own.
Mm-hmm.
Like the girl who assumed she would win and go to nationals, her dreams were instantly crushed as soon as she heard that he was coming. So
Mm-hmm.
he's the best. He's like the number one seed, I guess, in the
Mm-hmm.
field. And the judges probably went into his performance expecting it to be great. He probably went into his performance, hoping that he would deliver. And when he did, he thought to himself, perhaps justifiably,
Yep.
I did it. I came out. I executed perfectly. I did what I wanted. That was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of think about I don't know. You're into tennis. In
Yep.
in tennis, if you maybe not at the like in any of the Grand Slam tournaments, but in a smaller one where there's a clear number one seed, doesn't everyone just
Yep.
expect the number one seed to sweep everyone?
Yeah, sometimes like 80%.
Yeah.
Not all the time though.
I think this
Yeah, but
situation's kind of
mhm.
similar. Like Shuhei is
Yep.
is the clear golden boy,
Yep.
but we know there's going to be like Kai's probably going to upset him in the next episode, if I had to guess.
Yep. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, the girl's performance is going to come up first though, because that's the cliffhanger, right? That's how the
Yep.
episode ends, is she's walking out.
Yep.
I would actually be very intrigued if she ends up being the winner, or like Kai gets first and she places second and Shuhei's dropped into third somehow. I don't think that'll happen, but I might appreciate that.
Yep. Um. So far, what do you think about the story of Piano no Mori?
The story, it's
Yes.
it's the story of a bunch of young pianists, and I mean that's what we saw in this episode,
How you
right?
feel about the story? Yes.
I
How
feel
how how do you think it progressed?
Oh well, in terms of like the first half of this episode leading us into the competition, I was a big fan of
Mm-hmm.
of all of that. I thought it was well proportioned. Like
All right.
we got a good amount of Kai practicing. We got a good amount of Ajino lecturing him, and we saw. I mean, we're not getting enough of Shuhei. I wish we could get more of him, but we did see him like kind of looking determined at school,
Mm-hmm.
and thinking to himself, I can't let what's his name, Kai beat me. And then we got
Yep.
like the last minute obstacle, the woman with the mop.
Yep.
So that was like what
The landlord.
yeah, the landlord, right? I think she might be a little more than a landlord, but it's a kids show, so
Yep. Right.
I thought all of that was nicely laid out and well balanced. And I'm encouraged by the fact that his mom was like happy about him
Mhm.
going to a piano competition. How about you? Anything
Well,
anything I missed? Any story element that like you wanna talk about in particular?
well, it's well, any scenes that involve with her mom, I'm really happy to see more. I like Kai's mom as a characters. So yeah, every scene involving her will make me happy. Um, I don't feel Suhe. Like we I agree with you that we don't have much time of Shuhei. I think he need more time because for now he clearly like a very weak characters.
Yeah.
So but I agree with you about the all the scenes before the tournaments. How about the tournaments that you think?
Um, the bulk of the time spent at the concert venue was dedicated to the scenes between Kai and
The girl.
Takako, the girl.
Yep.
And um, I mean, I'm okay with her, and I hope that she gets fleshed out a little more as the series goes on. I mean, she's the third major kid who's been introduced, so you got to figure she'll continue to recur.
Yep.
One thing that actually bothered me a lot in this episode, though, was in the reverse shots
Mhm.
of Kai playing his piece. When
Yep.
when it's the piano is like behind the camera and all you can see is Kai's head.
Uh,
None of the strings inside the piano, because it's a grand piano and the top is open. None of the strings were moving as he was playing. It was just a still image of a piano. And when you hit the key, like the mallet inside the piano is supposed to strike the string. That's what makes the sound, and that
mhm.
wasn't happening. So that bothered me a ton, way more than the CG. Like
All right.
they weren't properly depicting a piano being played.
Mhm.
So that bothered me.
Yeah. Well, production wise, I'm not too keen on this shows. I don't think the show do the great job. Like it's alright. It not inspiring or anything.
I actually, yeah, I agree that earlier you said the show looks stiff, and I think that's a good way to describe it. But I
Mm-hmm.
also feel as though this show benefits from having simple character designs, um, and being so clearly focused on one thing. Like this is not a grand adventure story like something like Golden Kamui,
Mm-hmm.
which has a bunch of different locales and complex character designs, or at least more complex. So when that show stutters, it's quite noticeable. When this show stutters, to me, it's less egregious.
Mm-hmm.
Now that might just be me setting low expectations for it. I don't know if that's like the right thing to do or not, but it doesn't make me like grind my teeth or anything. The piano strings not moving, like the keys not uh, like the on the back end it not being depicted properly. That's not a failing of I don't know what that's a failing of. Somebody just not knowing how pianos work or not caring to put in the effort.
Yeah. Well, I see your point. So just to let you know that the next episode's gonna be the end of the competition, which is the end of what I have seen so far from the movies, which
Oh,
I'm
okay.
glad. I like to get into the new material right now. So
So
yeah, so
after, go ahead.
I'm I'm actually looking forward to the next episode to see like how everything going to be.
Right. And you pointed out last week the show is actually two core.
Yep, it
Um,
it took us, yes.
so if it's like going to be 24 episodes ish,
Yep.
and we're going to wrap up everything that the movie covers more or less after 4 episodes, that means the movie is like the first 16 or 17% of the series if we kind of equate them that way.
Mm, yep.
Just 1/6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's
1/6.
that means there's probably a big story to tell.
Yeah. It's just like 50%, 50-60%. Yep.
Hmm.
Well,
Okay.
judging from like very first few moments that we got in the first episodes, so we're gonna see Kai like getting into as an adult. So like yeah, it's gonna be a long story.
Yeah, based on this episode, I'm into it.
Yeah.
It kind of I'm watching an older series right now. I mean, we're both watching an older series, but I'm watching another one in addition. And
Yep.
this show just, it reminds me a little bit of the way anime was. Um, just very simple, very focused on its
Act-
characters.
yeah, actually I do agree. I feel Piano no Mori was like the production of like 2000 ish, or even like 1990 ish.
I'm thinking, yeah, I'm thinking like pre 2000s, and not even. I would say the 90s were more about there. The 90s were when anime was transitioning into like kind of a weirder period, maybe a little more experimental and telling
Mm-hmm.
um, stories that were involved a lot of strange science fiction elements, as
Yep. Yep.
opposed to
Yep.
like the classical mecha shows and space operas that had come before. This show
Yep.
is actually reminding me of like even pre 90s stuff.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah, so like a Grey of the Fireflies,
well,
like
not Grave of Fireflies. I don't. I'm gonna have to stop watching this show if it's gonna make me feel the way Grave of Fireflies made me feel.
alright, Whisper of the Heart. Maybe put it that better that way.
I saw Whisper of the Heart. I actually was not wild about that movie.
Really, I like that movie, and not that like I consider that it a masterpiece, but I like it enough.
I would say I also like it enough, but that's a whole
L-
different topic.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's a great looking movie, of course.
Hmm.
All right, do we want to do another show? We're almost 20 minutes in, and we've only done one.
Yeah, so yep. Let's next to Megalobox.
Okay. This
Yep.
was my least favorite episode so far.
Oh, how so?
I did not. I didn't like the fight between
All
Shark
right.
and Gearless Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the kid, his involvement. I didn't like the fact that he won after everybody realized that the power of teamwork was going to save the day. Like when Nanba says to him, "It's not just you. There's three of us."
Yeah.
That's
Well,
that's. Go ahead.
yep. Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, two more things I didn't like.
Yep.
The fact that he got up at 9 out of 10 on the count. I thought that
Yep.
was just. I mean,
Yep.
I can understand that in older boxing stories, older boxing anime, but Joe is. It doesn't need to tread that old ground. I get that it's a throwback and that it's a celebration of Ashita no Joe, but I was not scared for a moment that he wouldn't get up.
Mhm.
And also, I thought the punches really lacked impact, especially the shots that were framed from a distance.
Yep.
I really did not
All right.
feel like the blows being struck from either person.
All right. 2 points from all of your points that you just made. First was I actually like the way that that this episodes show how frightened, how how scared
Joe.
Jungkook Joe was. So like I can see the reason why like he put his life like into the light. So now when it actually happened, he feels scared. He feel like like he couldn't he he just shake up. He just shaken up. So
Right.
I like that, but I don't like you say I don't like the way that the show shown that by telling you that like that three of us
Yeah.
like you don't have to do it alone. That three of us to going through it. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it justifies or the act or the things that happened before.
Well, the thing about boxing is that it is a very solitary sport.
That's
It's
right.
it's just you in the ring.
That's
I
right.
mean,
Is it?
it shares that in common with tennis. Like it really the show ought to dig into the mentality of like
You have to
one
find yourself
character.
first. Yeah,
Yes.
right.
So
And
go ahead.
yeah, and I just don't see why like if we know about the support from his supporters, it's gonna make him stronger. I just don't see that at all.
Yeah.
It's basically the way that the kid come yelling. Like I know he's supposed to be like he's supposed to be the man of the moment as Joe and his boss
Nanba.
said in the end. But like I don't feel his contribution it too like it too obvious to me as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think this show is a little trapped in the old boxing tropes
Yeah, that
because it's a 50th anniversary series of Ashita no Joe, but
that's right.
I don't know.
And
I
second
just wish it
things,
were. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. And second thing, you said like the on the punch like powers,
Yeah.
and I think it actually worked for this fight alone because it's as you know Chile Cho, so like he don't have any cheer any like gadgets with him. So I do feel like on the punch that he make like less impact because of like because the fact that he doesn't have a, any
Any gear.
like supporting any gear.
Uh,
So
I, I
yeah. So I just think that it have it impact. It have its merits.
well, if the point was that because he has no gear, his punches are going to be like softer, and then the fight wouldn't have been structured the way it was. It wouldn't have been him like on the ropes and stuff, and then he comes back and lands one big KO punch and wins. That
Hmm.
doesn't that if that's the intent, if that was the show's intent for his punches to be lighter, then he
Hmm.
would have needed to be like more of an outboxer. And the show did it there were moments where he was getting cornered and then he like ducked and ran away.
Yep.
And he did land more punches than his opponent.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
it didn't seem to me that the fight was set up in a way that we were supposed to gather that bit of information. To me it
Yeah.
just looked like all the I don't know. There just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough follow through from him,
Hmm.
and his opponent didn't there wasn't like a proper amount of like head swivel or like jerking when you get hit with the body blow. I just didn't see any of that stuff that I was looking for. Now when the camera came in close, uh,
Mm-hmm.
it was great. It was fine, and that's to be
Mm.
expected because it's easier when you're close up to convey those sorts of details like that power. But whenever it was far away, I was just like, I don't really know how I feel about this.
Mm. Yeah, I actually I see your point out. Mm. And one more thing, I actually find the theme of Gillet shows actually work well to me
Did you
because
predict that in the last episode?
no, I didn't at all.
Okay, it
I
must.
I, I, I thought they gonna find something, as a gear, like very quickly, but I didn't think that they will do this as a Gillet show.
Okay, that must have been my brother because somebody
Yeah.
told me that that's probably what was going to happen, and I told them they were crazy.
Yeah, because actually when you think about that, the big tournaments, the Megalonia tournament or something,
Yeah, that's right.
it was created to promote the on the gear, on
Yes.
the megalos, what they said. So
Yeah.
like when you have show as a gear list, it's like go on against the concept, the very concept of the tournaments, and I actually really like that.
Yeah, it does. It does work. It sets Joe apart. He's already like a lone wolf. He's
Hmm.
already like a junk dog. So him not having any gear, it makes him the underdog. It sets him apart. It allows him to grind his axe of like not being the same as everybody else, not being a citizen of their country, kind of being
The
like
outcasts, yeah.
neglected and yeah, on the outskirts of society. So it makes his victory that much sweeter. But it does, like you said, and this is I think exactly what I said to Grenchler was
Mm.
the tournament is meant to promote the idea of gear and to prove the superiority of the promotion company's gear. So like, why
Yep.
would he be allowed not to use any? But that's the way it is, and it does work for his character, if not for the
Well,
story.
I think like in the next few episodes he gonna have the gear on. I think that the plan is just like he's a gearless show for the first three fights, and he did.
Yeah,
So I do think like the next episodes, the next fight that he got, he will have his gear on. Not really
yeah.
sure about that though.
I hope so. I hope that the kids, Sachio,
Yep.
whatever the kid's name is, and his little band of musketeers. I hope they're
Yep.
involved somehow in the way that they like procure gear for Joe. Give them something to do apart from just be kids and like cry a lot when Joe gets hit and goes down and gets up at the ninth count out of
Yep.
10.
And surprise, surprise, his next opponents will be the guy who was coached by his coach right now.
Yeah, he's an old pupil of Nanbu's,
Yes,
and he has
that's
a
got
I think he has a cool
that's yeah,
design.
yeah. I think that's gonna be interesting fight.
I
So
hope
so
so.
it's more of a fight of Nambu, what his name.
Yeah,
It's more about him, like putting his throat into Cho, and it's yep. So like basically it's gonna be a good fight.
I hope so. I
Hope
hope that
so.
I hope the show does something like one thing that I did like about this episode, just the idea, if not the way the show carried it out, was you remember when the surface of the ring became like fluid, it became like water, and Joe
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
as though he was sinking.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that idea. I don't think the show carried it out. I don't think they pushed it as far as they should have. I would have liked it to get kind of weird and like push the idea that the ring is water even further to really demonstrate that he's afraid, that he's tired.
So
Instead of him almost being down for the count and having people like yell at him and stuff. I wish they had incorporated that kind of environmental
yeah,
quirkiness into the fight more. So I hope they do something similar in the next one.
yeah. So you want it to be more abstract.
Yes, I
And
really do. Very very well put. Yeah, thank you.
and well, I love on the abstract themes like that. So yeah, I will be on board, really on board if they do that. However, I don't think they're gonna do that. You know, like I feel the show problem so far, it is so far. It's like it is meant to, like you said, it is meant to be a throwback, like a retro
Yeah.
to the original show anime. So like it also like embrace the old trope, which I'm not keen about.
Yeah.
So like hopefully like you know like, they just go into the old ways like all that. And I yep, so basically I hope they do something, you know, like more you know,
Abstract.
more abstract, more modern,
Right.
more, you know, like just not conservative.
Yeah. That's my hope as well. But boxing is a very like gutsy, gritty sport that does benefit from like
From
straightforwardness.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
it may not be in the show's best interest to be abstract. That's what I want to see though.
Yep, right.
So we'll find out what happens next week.
Yep. All right, next show. So we got Hinamatsuri and Hisune no Masutan. Which one do you like to pick?
Let's do Hisone to Masotan.
All right.
You're gonna have
Are
to
you?
help me with this because I watched it when it came out on Saturday, like 6 days
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. I watched it at that time as well.
Oh, okay.
Well, I still like it. I still like the concept. I this episode though, I feel like, you know, like I can see some of the show issues. And
what
like,
issues are those?
well, like if you think if you think about that, the plot doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make much sense.
No, it doesn't.
uh, and the even the characters, you know, like I said in my blog that
Right.
you know, the show is about on the character is supposed to be, you know, like a twig. They're supposed to be like a uh how to put it, that, you know, like there is a character trope, and they're supposed to be, you know, like go against on the trope.
Okay, so they're supposed to be putting a spin on what you would
Yeah,
expect from that kind of character.
yeah, that's right. But like, you know, like in the end, they still pretty much that kind of characters. Like taking now the delinquent.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's supposed to be, you know, like on the trope that's her she adapted so far is like a trope of, you know, like a social awkward girl who you know, like to bully the main girl, but, you know, like she help her, she secretly help her, but that
Accidentally.
actually you know, like she's supposed to be that girl, but like the episodes so far is established her as, you know, like she mean to the main character all the way.
Yeah.
So that's the spin that the show tried to make. But like in the end, she's still, you know, like what we expected of her. So
That's true, but by the end of the second episode, I think that
yeah,
they're on pretty good terms.
yeah, that's exactly why I put that. You know, like she's supposed to be go against her character type, but in the end, she's still, you know, like the kind of supporting character that we looking for her, that we were expected all the way. So, so my whole point is, my bottom line is, you know, if you think too serious about this show, it doesn't work. It just, you know, like it
Well, I
we
think
don't
that
need to we don't need to think too much about these shows, like about its theme, about all the seriousness, because the show doesn't take itself seriously as well. All
right.
right, to you.
I I think the thing that actually falls apart under scrutiny is just the idea that dragons are planes and that people can get swallowed by them and
Yeah,
pilot
yeah,
them from
that
inside. That's the part that doesn't make any sense. And
that
but I'm
doesn't make any sense too. Yes.
I'm okay with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I said this last week. The main
Yeah.
reason I'm on board is because Bones is to me they're just the best animation studio in the game right now. Like they can practically do no wrong.
All
Uh,
right.
and
That's a
so
big claim.
yeah, well, I mean they've come out with a whole bunch of like ridiculous, especially in the like mid to late 2000s. They came out with I don't know, probably half a dozen nonsensical sci-fi series with, just like garbage characters and nonsensical
Yep.
plots. You couldn't really follow them. But they've really gotten their act together um, since in this decade. I feel like they probably have the most legitimate claim to like animation studio of the decade.
Yep. I do feel for the last 5 or 6 years they doing pretty good job. Like they pretty reliable.
Yeah. So and they're reliable in this show too. Like I just everything was so beautiful. Like the shot when do you remember in the first episode when the dragon goes to eat Hisone?
Yep.
It's shot from the side, and
Mm-hmm.
the only like sense of movement we get is the neck coming
Yep.
down and the
Yep.
dragon's eye, like
Yep.
it
Like
kind of
circles.
shrinking in its socket. Yeah,
Yep.
and then it's just like down the hatch, and it's kind of treated as like a goofy, funny moment.
Yep.
But in this episode, the way that the same action is shot from behind Hisone as the dragon like bears down on her
Yep.
and has its mouth open, it's almost terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And it just looks great. Like it puts you in the character's head, and it's also a feast for your eyes as well. And
Mm-hmm.
the moment, the little bit of character animation when what's her name now, the
Now,
delinquent
yep.
girl, when
Yep. Yep.
she stumbles upon Hisone trying to convince the dragon to like give her a chance and
Yep.
to let Now pilot her, she's embarrassed by that because she's been so cruel to Hisone.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in a lighthearted way.
Yep.
That's the way the show's giving it to us, and and yet Hisone is like pitying her. So when she's
Mm-hmm.
frustrated and it looked like KyoAni esque how
Yep.
she reacted and how she like stormed away. It was
Mm.
just beautiful character animation. So Bones is I'm loving it, man.
Yeah. I actually like. I really like the characters. The characters animation. That what they say. The on the expressions. On
Yeah,
the like the little gesture that they do. I actually love it the more. Like every moment that every movement the
yes,
character makes. They all make like their own distinctive personality.
yeah,
I love that. I love the soundtrack. I love the I love the French songs, the French ED song,
yeah.
which is pretty cool.
That's actually a cover.
Oh, is it?
That's an actual French pop song from the '60s.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No wonder why it's reminded me of like another 60 French pop song.
yeah, because it actually is one. But
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's a cover. I can
mm.
share the YouTube link with you, and I guess I'll put it in the description box of this video.
Yep, yep.
Um,
Wow,
it's
right.
Yeah, I think it's a cover. I don't think it's the original.
Um, and what I also so like in terms of visual, in terms of what the look, the show really nailed it. It's nailed it. Like I enjoy like every single moment of the shows.
Yeah,
That's a big claim as well. But like I said, don't take the show too seriously. At least for now, because if you think about it too seriously, I think it's for a pact.
that's true. But the show does put in some work to legitimize its wacky concept.
That's
Like,
right.
do you remember the bit of episode 2 where they're scrubbing down the dinosaur? And they're
Yep, yep,
talking
yep.
about how there's like a lot of humidity in the hangar, so it creates mold and they have to scrub it off. That's like
Yes.
such a cool little detail. It doesn't make a lick of sense, but
Yeah.
it adds another element to the idea that there is a dragon in this hangar and there's maintenance to be done. There's like work they're on an air base, and so
Yeah.
there's a crew, there's characters all over the place. It's not just like a troop of 4 or 5 cute girls, and like a teacher, and
Well,
everyone else
that
doesn't matter. There's like a whole staff of, and there's all the heads of the departments who are arguing with each other
yeah.
in the control room. It just feels very lived in.
Well, that's gonna be a bunch of 4 and 5 girls
That's
coming
true.
up next.
That's
So
true.
um because they're gonna be 3 more girls from what I see in in the ED and OPs.
Yeah.
I do think there's gonna be another dragon coming. How you think about that?
I didn't pick up on that. I saw all the other girls,
Yeah.
but I
Well,
didn't pick up on the idea that there's going to be a new dragon. That's pretty cool.
because I just think that it just make no sense at all for 5 girls to drive one dragon. So I think they're gonna be another dragon coming soon.
Oh yeah. Now that you put it that way, I mean, this show doesn't have a whole lot of logic to it, but what you just said has some logic to it.
Yeah, well, dragon logic, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
The best kind.
yeah, so far I really enjoy the show
Yeah, me too.
for what it is.
Um, Yeah, and even characters like the now I wrote Kaizaki in my notes. I guess her first name is Now, or not her first name, her given name.
Yep.
Um, she's got a hotshot pilot of a mother
Hmm.
whose legacy she's trying to live up to. So even though she is like the delinquent with a heart of gold type character, which we've seen 1,000 times before. She does have
Yep.
something going on of her own. She's got her own personal struggle and a little bit of a backstory. If anything, the character that I'm worried about is Hisone, because
Hmm.
I'm worried that she could, as new characters are introduced, I'm worried that she could go the way that Kumiko in Hibiki Euphonium did, where she is just observing everything that's going on and she doesn't have a lot of uh,
Impact.
yeah, she doesn't have a lot of agency herself. Like she is the
Yep.
chosen one, and the dragon was drawn to her.
Hmm.
But as more people are introduced, I'm worried that she might not be
Well,
central anymore.
well, I think in this episode the show actually does like tackle that issue as well about Hisune who like half at like she actually didn't really care much about like driving dragon and on those business. So I do think the show do a really good a really good justice to that. And I like all the characters, like little character moments. Like the way that now just like just uh got herself injury and crying and like calling out for her mama. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's pretty
it make
effective to me.
it makes you it makes you feel for her character, seeing her put up a front for so long, and then when she's alone for a
Yeah,
moment,
when she
uh, you see what
unvulnerable. Yeah,
yeah
vulnerable. Yeah,
you see how she really is.
that's right.
It is really amazing how sophisticated uh, the the characters' movements are and how much personality they exude, even though their designs are so simple.
That's right.
That's the thing about like the big animation studios, even, like Bones included, is that oftentimes they have very detailed characters and they
Mm.
animate them well, so the personality comes through. But in this show, the designs are very simple, but you get the same effect.
Yep.
So they have some real wizards doing the animation for this show. I don't know who it is, but
I yeah
hats off to them.
yeah I do agree with you on that. Mm, well, you have anything else to say about Hisune no Masutan?
Um, I could probably think of something, but it might take me too much time.
All right, so let's get to the last shows.
Before Rosa
Hinamasuri.
Versailles, yeah.
Yeah, Hinamasuri, which I
Uh,
just watched it basically 5 minutes before our podcast.
right. So this, after episode 3, which ends on Nita's entrance into the apartment and his non-reaction, you and I speculated about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And I thought there was a chance that it might be totally clean. You thought that it probably wasn't going to be a cliffhanger and it wouldn't return. Like the joke was just we can imagine his reaction. But it turns out there was a third option, which was it was literally just a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I think that's the worst of the 3 options, honestly.
The worst? Yeah.
The worst. Yeah. Like, of course the apartment's wrecked, and of course he's mad. And that's just a setup for her being kicked out, which is the A plot of this episode. And it was the story was fine, but
it was fine. Well, I do feel at times that Hina is really a brat. Like
she is.
Just doesn't try to do anything.
She's definitely a brat. She's, I don't know. She threatened Nita. That's like her nature, is to lord her power over people, because that's what she does as soon as she gets to Earth and gets out of that metal egg. That was the first thing she did in the first episode. So and we see that when she's put into a new situation with Anzu in the homeless camp, we learn that she is like lazy and doesn't pull her weight. Even though she was introduced to the concept of working for pay or working for food by Nita, he taught her about that. So yeah, she's not a person of high moral fiber.
Yes.
But she's defenseless and cute, so.
Well, I hope she gonna grow up soon, because it's getting a bit annoying to me then. Like at the end of the plot 8. But I can still tolerate her, and I still see that Nita and Hina got a very very good chemistry together.
It's kind of strained, though, don't you think? At the end of their little story together in this episode, he lets her back in, and she does buy that vase for him, which is a nice gesture. But things aren't totally repaired. Yep. Like, she slams the door on the way out, and he thinks to himself, or he says, "Don't slam the door."
Yeah.
They're not back to being buddies.
Yeah. So it's gonna be the same stuff soon. I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope she learned something from this.
I kind of feel as though Hina is not going to change very much. I think that Hitomi and Anzu are actually the ones who are really changing.
Talking about them, they have like the plot piece is about them meeting all together.
Yeah, I like that part better in this episode.
Yeah, which I really like. Like when you think about that, Anju and Hitomi have very different kind of they were put into like different situation, and they managed to observe. They managed to grow, like to adapt to those new situation. But the more you think about it, the more contrast those girls. They contrast it in their personalities. One is very timid. What the other one is very overconfidence, and you have like one of the girls who supposed to be a good girl, the other one supposed to be like a brat, and you have like one make a whole lot of money in half an hour, and the other one working picking on the cans for a day for 700 yen.
Yeah.
Which is not much.
That's $7. That's $7.
Wow.
That's less than you get paid for 1 hour of work in America.
In Australia as well. Poor Anzu.
Yeah. Their situations are very different, and they're different as well. But another way in which they're different is like the way that they're changing and growing in their environments. Anzu is like learning from Yasan and from the guys in the homeless commune or compound or camp,
Yep.
whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
She's learning to um, like repay favors and make
Mm-hmm.
friends,
Yep.
but Hitomi is actually changing for the worse.
Really?
Yeah, did you notice in the scene where she's like trying to get cans for her friend
Yep.
that she actually
She
blackmails the guy taking
blackmail.
a smoke break? Yeah,
Well, I
she's working at a yakuza bar, and she is actually picking up some of their influence.
yeah, I don't think that's for the worst though. I don't think that actions is for the worst. I think it's just like to helping out her friend with the with all the mean that she can get, and I think
I
it's
mean,
that's a good thing.
is blackmail justified when you're trying to help your friend?
Well, it not that much of a blackmail. It's more of like he the guy who I think the guy who he was like 50-50 about like giving on the trash cans. So that's just a little kick, the push for him to agree to like to let Anju picking up on the cans.
Yeah, that's true. And it is a small thing because the cans are, they're not worth much and they're worth more to Anzu than they are to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it is significant that she is engaging in this sort of, oh, I'll do you a favor, you do me a favor. That's like a yakuza kind of thing, like leaning on somebody in order to get them to give you what you want.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like not lost on me. That
Yeah.
I
Well,
think we're actually gonna see her get more like blunt and more assertive
all right.
as
So
this show goes on.
yes. So that here's an example that she grow up. Like she grow not for the worse. You remember like the first section of the second plot where like all the customer just like say on this personal stuff,
Yeah,
they really like uh tell her about their story, and she the one who listened to that. So she kind of like listeners now. She kind of like offer them the comfort.
yeah, she's like a Buddha figure in those scenes.
Yeah.
Like
So
she has the perfect answer that sets their soul at ease.
yeah, that's right. Even to her boss, what his name, Utako.
Yeah, yeah,
like you realize that Utako was sitting in the like visitor bar, like visitor side, and drinking as well, and saying all that stuff. So like
yeah.
yeah. So what I mean is he to me is like uh she the sort of listener right now.
Yeah,
She the guy who listen to like all the people trouble what and what's not.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I think
I
that's
just
good.
I don't
I think that's
remember
pretty good.
I don't remember her like solving Utako's problem or talking to her the way that she did for the other two guys at the bar.
She just listeners. She just a kind of good listens.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hitomi is good natured. Like where Hina is, very very self centered. Hitomi
Yep.
does think of others. Like we see her in the very first episode. She thinks to herself, why am I taking care of Hina?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
She is that kind of person, and Nita is too. Um,
Yep.
but and I don't think that Hitomi is gonna like start literally killing people or extorting people for like zillions of dollars. But I
Yep.
do think that as the show goes on, part of the comedy of her character is going to be that she is such a sweet girl, but she's going to start acting like more of an adult and be put in situations where she's able to leverage
Yep.
her new knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. So she can be mean when she want to, when she need to.
Yeah, but not just mean though, but like crafty. Like
Right.
clever and kind of angling to get the thing that she wants for herself or for her friends or whatever.
Yeah. I actually like that direction.
Yeah, I
So
do I do too. I think it's going to be funny.
it yeah
But
because it's break her good like archetype.
right,
So I like that.
right. Yeah, I think that her and I think that she and Anzu are, for me, they're the stars of the show right now.
That's right.
I think for me, Hina and Nita kind of had a bad week.
Mm. Well, they have a bad term to each other's.
I mean, like
So
as characters and as like sources of entertainment, they kind of had an
yeah.
off week for me. But yes,
Well,
you're correct. They're on the outs right now.
yeah. Well, their their chemistry is supposed to be, like the center, emotions core. So I hopefully, that they're gonna get better, because I feel the same way with you, Upa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
How do
I
you think
think I
about
think
the
they'll get back to
yep
being friends.
yep? How do you think about the comedy bit in Hinamashuri in this episode to
Um,
be?
the thing that made me laugh the most, I think, was
Yep.
when that band is playing on the
Yep.
on the street, and at Hina like joins up with them
Yep.
and makes him float in the air, and
Yep.
everybody in the crowd is freaking out, and then you see between like two crowd members, you see Nita
Yep.
doing that thing that this show often does, where their face is completely obscured by just like a black mask
Yep.
over their eyes to indicate like kind of despair
Disadvantage.
almost.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what made me laugh the most. But a lot of the other like strong reactions that some characters have to some scenes, that's just a big thing in Japanese comedy. I think is the reaction is the punchline,
Mhm.
and I don't think Hina Matsuri always gets it. But in that scene, I laughed a lot.
All right. I like the first bit when Nita was in the bar, and when he tried to say to all the people in the bars that, like he disowned Hina, and there was two completely random guys who was, like react to
Yeah,
that.
they were judging
And
him for being such a terrible father.
yeah, and he was just like, who the hell are you? I really like that.
Yeah. I was in that scene. I was actually like, I was empathizing with him because he couldn't just say, oh, she's an alien.
Well,
He
the way he phrased that sounds really bad.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely did. That's why the scene was funny. If it were about an actual dad who disowned his actual daughter, that would not be funny at all.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be
right.
tragic. Yeah, it's the show, like Nita he seems to be the straight man.
Yep.
And
Yep.
he told me it also functions as the straight man in the B plot this week.
Yep. This
And
week,
that yeah, in this episode.
Nita, you say?
Well, Nita in the A part, yeah, but he told me in like
Ah, yeah, 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 yeah.
Anzu's the
Right.
one saying a whole bunch of like ludicrous stuff and like, oh, you're my first friend, and talking about
Yep.
Yasan, and he told me he keeps going, who is that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Yes.
Yeah. I think the show is funnier than the average anime comedy,
Mm-hmm.
both visually and just in terms of do I laugh,
Yep.
which I do.
Agree. It's still like one of my favorite show of the season so far.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean my three favorites are the three that we're covering minus Piano no Mori.
Yep. I got those three plus Golden Kamuy plus Stand Yet plus the new the new Legion of Gigantic Heroes.
Yeah, that's the older show that I've been watching.
Oh really?
Yeah, I
How,
saw
how
both the prequel movies, and I'm 26 episodes in.
Oh my god! How you feel about the all the events so far?
It's
The
it's
the
really good.
OVAs, is that
Yeah,
wow? Good to hear.
I just want to hook it up to my veins and like pump it into my bloodstream so I can just absorb the rest right now. But
Whew, whew.
I can only watch one episode at a time.
All right.
I will say that after 26 episodes, it hasn't yet established itself as the masterpiece that everybody talks about. But I can see
Well,
where it's going, and I think it's going to be really good.
you know what? It have like you still have like 18 80 episode more.
Yep.
It still have like to put it another way, it still have like 80 episode more to prove itself as a masterpiece. So it had a plenty good chance to do that, man.
Yeah. It's so I'm glad that I decided not to watch the the new version, because I can just like burn through it, which I have been.
Yep. All right then.
But I'm sure that the new one is very good. I've heard like nothing but positive things about it, which is nice because a lot of people were nervous about how it would turn out.
That's right. Like I'm up to date with the new version, and I was impressed actually.
Yeah, it's followed the anime so far 1-to-1. Like where you are. Are there 3 episodes out or 4?
It four.
Okay. The first 4 episodes of the OVA are like cover the same material as the first 4 episodes of the new series, from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what that means for the future.
For the rest.
Yeah, but
it's gonna be 12 episodes, I think, just one core.
But then there are movies that are gonna follow it up, I think.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think there's supposed to be a series of 3 movies that are gonna follow the TV show for the new version.
All right.
That's the word on the street.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rose of Versailles.
Yep, Rose of Versailles.
Oh boy, 5 episodes worth of stuff. I can't keep it all straight, man.
I just watched it at 6 o'clock in the morning today. Just then, going through it.
Yeah.
It's alright. It just like like they on the dramatic.
Yeah, I really did feel the not necessarily the melodrama of it, but just how drama heavy it was. Mm-hmm. All the like the sudden zoom ins on characters' faces with the bizarre like harpsichord music.
Yeah.
That's starting to get to me. But I do think that there's like light at the end of the tunnel, because in episode 13, that's the one where Oscar is placed on leave, like for a month.
Yep.
That's where she meets Robespierre in the tavern.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So and his that's his second appearance, because he was the guy who read the the proclamation.
Revolution. Yep.
Yeah, he is a revolutionary. So I feel as though his appearance and the fact that Oscar has now been awakened to the plight of the French citizenry.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though the show is going to get into stronger dramatic territory pretty soon. At least I hope so. And then maybe the show's like quirks will be justified.
Yep. I do agree. I do agree that Oscar have like have a very good character developments for the last 5 episodes that we watched. She now like for me, like she see the real how French citizens suffer from poor and hungry, and well, I think it's gonna be a good act. So I think it's more like they're gonna split between her and Marie Antoinette.
Oh my
in terms
gosh!
of their developments.
I just want Marie Antoinette to die already. I just want her to get her head cut off now. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to wait like 20 more episodes.
Well, she a Pratt.
Yeah, but I mean, you and I agree on that. That's something that I've been saying. But it was more than that in these episodes. She was just like an empty-headed, frivolous dolt.
Have you read the recent blog or the recent post from Aiden about the Legion of Galactic Heroes?
No.
That he was talking about like how on those leaders of the war, on the leader are on morals, are on like stupid head, and this is like a very prime example of that.
Yeah, that's actually true. As I've been watching Legend of the Galactic Heroes, there are like hundreds of there's like 100 characters already,
All right.
And a lot of them are just like really stupid, cruel nobles.
Incompetence. Yeah.
Yeah. Like in this show, the Duke of Gemuen or whatever his name is,
Yep.
the new Duke who's in cahoots with the Duke of Orleans now.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Uh, like you see Rosalie begging for mercy for the kid who tried to steal from him, and he's like,
Yep.
"Okay, both of you get out of here." And then he turns around, pulls out a
Yeah.
pistol, and shoots the
That
kid.
I swear, even I like make myself tolerant to on the romantic stuff in the shows. That was way too much for me. That
Yeah,
was way too extreme, way too like over the top.
yeah.
It make no sense to me. Why he do that?
Well, it's because he's like an evil member of the aristocracy, don't you see? And that means he's bad because he shot a child, which means he's
and and
bad.
and then he managed to laugh it off. He managed to laugh an evil laugh before he goes. So it's like just like every evil character that we saw from Disney villains.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh no, he's way less complicated than Disney villains.
Oh,
Disney
that
Disney
as
villains
well.
Disney villains are like the earlier ones especially were just like, Cinderella and Snow White and stuff. They're just
Yep.
evil. But later Disney villains, you got a better sense of who they were as people and their characters. This guy, like by 1979 is when this show came out. By 1979, their villains were a step above this. This is just, oh my
And
gosh, it's just insulting.
well, and you know what? Later we have Oscar do with him. Oh, by saying that, you remember the moment where they get into where they get into the duel. So the moment when they lash out at each other, and then
Yeah,
one of them invite the other for a duel,
it's
challenge for a duel.
it's the Duke of Gemen. He
Yeah.
he takes off his glove and throws it at Oscar. So he's the one who challenges her.
You feel the pacing were off at that time because it was really off for me. Like
What do you mean specifically about like how
so
quickly
so
he
so
challenged her to a duel?
yeah, I didn't get the challenge at all. So he just smash her with his glove, with his hand.
That's
Is
actually that's an actual thing in
that
like
that is that
in
the challenge?
yeah, in historical, I don't know if it's just France or Europe, but that's what you do. You would take off your glove and you would like toss it. Maybe not at the person, but maybe like at their feet on the ground or
Oh right,
that's how you
yeah.
declare your intent to duel someone. That's a real thing.
Oh right.
Yeah. So
Because that
it
yeah,
didn't
that
come
was
as
so
too
sudden to me.
fast for me.
All right, yeah.
Because he had already been established as like a super evil bastard.
Yep.
So
All right.
I was ready for them to duel. I just
And
expected it.
and you know what? Like afterwards, we have like the whole episodes about Oscar feeling, feeling scared of taking someone else's life,
Yeah.
even if that guy is evil. And turn out that when the fight's going on with all the all the scheme that 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 evil guys did,
Right. The
she
beam of
managed
light
to
and trying to blind Oscar.
yeah, and she just managed to shoot his hands and left him
Yes.
alive. And I just
You
had
just
no response to that.
you want him to die or
Yeah, of course. That the whole thing they build up to it, man. And she would just like shoot his hand off. That's it. It's not
yeah.
even the duel.
Yeah, it wasn't a proper duel.
Yeah.
But it makes sense to me that she didn't kill him because she was expressing such like reticence to take another person's life. Now it doesn't make a whole lot of sense maybe because in the heat of the moment you'd probably just shoot to kill.
Yeah.
But it was established that Oscar is like an expert marksman, where she's shooting the little bit of the playing card on the target
Yep.
earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So she probably shot him exactly where she wanted to shoot him.
That that even worse because Nazi become like a new Violet Evergarden who refuse to kill people, even if like all those people try to kill her.
Oh, don't call her Violet Evergarden. That's just awful. uh, it's
Super soldier. Yeah, yep.
what?
What you say? No, no, no. It's alright. What you say?
I didn't pay much attention to the fact that she didn't kill him. Like that just kind of makes sense to me. She's the protagonist of the story. You don't want her to be killing people left and right. You want her to value human life as highly as you do as a viewer. So I think it makes sense for like television show reasons that she wouldn't kill him. Um, this is a sanitized version of history. This is for children.
For children.
It is. It's a kid show.
All right.
I mean, I don't think anime was being produced for adults in 1979.
Oh, that's a sad fact.
I mean, that's not entirely true because like there were people who were producing films and things with nudity and like there were erotic films being produced even in the 60s, I think. Belladonna.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I know that. Yep.
but this is a TV show and I'm pretty sure it's for kids. Like the dramatic reactions, it wouldn't have been for adults.
And then we get the whole act of Polyneck, the Duchess of Polynex.
Yeah, she's the new last week we said that what's her face?
Jean.
Yeah, John.
John. Yep.
We said that she was the new Dewberry, but no, Polignac is the new Dewberry.
The only thing I like about her character is like at first she was modest, she was straightforward, she was simple at first, but then when she have an opportunity to to get more from Marie Antoinette to manipulate Antoinette, she does, and she transform into another Madame du Barry. That's the only fact that I like about her characters.
Yeah, we do see her get corrupted as opposed to being evil from the start.
That's right. I'm not fun on the thing that she done, like gambling.
The
What
fake
else?
pregnancy.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
all the stuff.
it was completely stupid. But
And
her motivation for doing that is to further entrap the queen.
yep,
Because
yep,
if she comes up with that fake pregnancy story and it's only her and Marie Antoinette who know about it, then Marie Antoinette is even like more under her control.
yep.
So I mean, it makes sense. The thing that absolutely makes no sense whatsoever, and I will never understand, is why did so many people think it was possible for Marie Antoinette to have a miscarriage when she saw Oscar brandish her sword?
Yeah. No, they.
That's like insulting to people who have had actual miscarriages. I was kind of angry when I
Alright.
got
Nah,
to that
that
point in the story.
yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was.
and
The show's a little dumb right now.
and I know, and what even more stupid is Rosalie. Remember her?
Yeah, yeah.
She tried to kill uh,
Oscar's mother.
Polynex. Yeah, she tried to kill Polynex, but she end up attempt to stab Oscar Mothers. The whole thing was just so stupid. Everything about that was so stupid.
Yeah. That was just a way I think for Rosalie and Oscar to be reunited.
Yep.
It's just kind of a convenient way for the writers to put them together.
Hmm.
But I did note when they were back together and Oscar was like, "I'll teach you how to use a sword so that one day you can get your revenge after you've established
Yep.
yourself as a noblewoman and stuff." I did notice that the show did that thing where it like freezes on a
Yep.
frame and makes it into like the flowers show up and
Yeah, yeah.
the shading changes.
You know what what do I feel about that particular moment?
I know
Uh,
how you feel about it because last week you said
yep.
that you thought Oscar might have a thing for her. And
Yeah.
I blew
I
you off completely. I was like, there's no way that's true. But now there might be some weight to it.
yeah. Well, I think they frame Oscar in that particular sense as a prince. So
Right.
yes, I do feel like there will be something going on between them
Yeah,
romantically.
I didn't think so at all, but based on that little bit where they got all flowery and the music got all, you know, how it gets, it does seem as though at least one of them has some kind of crush on the other, maybe both. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's
Interesting.
interesting. Yes.
It is interesting. I mean, because this show is set in 18th century France. I'm interested to see how homosexuality is, if it's brought into the story, or bisexuality. You know, how it'll be addressed.
Yeah.
I mean, Oscar's character is ripe for that sort of thing.
Well, consider what I know about on the shoujo manga and on the story. I don't think they're gonna be confirmed that. Like
Just tease at it.
just tease at this. Like
Yeah.
I watched the whole 40 episode of Utena, and there is just a hint of, like the way Utena is homosexuals.
Right.
But in the movies later come out of Utena, they actually go all the ways. That actually kind of encouraging.
Well, that's probably because of the differences in like restrictions, what you can show in a theater, what you can show on a television set.
Oh, maybe that.
Yeah.
Is it? Is it like a restriction even like in the 1990s? Even now?
I don't know about now. You can, but actually, yeah, I do. Think about how stuff is censored in anime, on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like blood, they
Yeah.
have to change the color, or they have to like cover 75% of the screen with a black filter, or
Yeah.
whereas in a theater, if you rate something R or adult, you know, whatever it is in Japan, 18 plus, 16 plus, I don't know what it is.
Yep.
You can probably show whatever you want, you know, as long as it's not completely gory and like disgusting and whatever.
Yep. All right. Mm-hmm.
I'm almost positive it has to do with uh you know
Censorship.
stan yeah, censorship standards, like broadcasting standards.
Whew. All
So
right.
in terms of what the broadcasting standards would have been when this show aired, there won't be any sexy time going on between two women, or even a man and a woman.
Yep.
But we'll see what the show chooses to imply.
Yeah. Well, maybe that scene that we're just talking about is like the furthest thing that they do, the most extreme thing that they gonna do.
Yeah, it's just have flowers pop up behind him.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
that's what maybe
like
that
you
represents.
you have to read on the substain.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of romance,
Yeah.
Andre says in this episode to
Uh huh.
himself, uh, "That's why I love you, Oscar." Because of the contrast between
Oh.
her like cold exterior and how passionate she is inside, like
Yep. Yep.
about everything. But in that particular situation, about the plight of the citizens.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So that's a clear confirmation. Not that we really needed one, but he's said it at least to himself.
Yeah. And it will go nowhere. We all know that.
I don't think so. I
I
mean,
do
I don't.
think so.
They're not gonna end up together. But
That's for sure.
yeah, you know, have you watched the end credits through all the way?
The what? Sorry.
Have you heard that part of the show at the end of every episode? There's a guy who says out loud. It's a you don't see the character's face on screen, but you hear a voice saying, "Even though I love you, you're so far away."
No,
And
no,
then
I didn't. I haven't. All
okay, you
right.
got to watch. I think it happens at the end of the ED.
All right.
So just watch the ED through all the way one time, and you'll hear the character saying
Mm.
uh, something about even you're unattainable, like I can't reach you, but I still love you. And then the character, it's a male character, like yells out Oscar's name,
All right.
and I'm pretty sure it's Andre.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's his voice actor. Uh,
Maybe
so
he's gonna die for her. I think like 80% sure that he gonna die for her.
yeah, I think you're probably right about that. I mean, that's what people of the lower class do in this show. They die.
Yeah, right. Miserably. Just
I just hate all the nobles, all the scenes where they're all standing around in the court, just gossiping about stuff.
yep.
I just wish that were like a little teeny bit more subtle, you know?
Yeah. Well, this show isn't known for its subtlety.
No, I mean the same
That
problem exists in the Legend of the Galactic Heroes, where the nobles are all like stupid idiots. There's one good one for every 10 or 15 bad ones.
that's
But in that
right.
show, at least there's like a really deftly woven plot and a lot of complications going on in the story. And this one, it's just like it's all about how this one particular noblewoman is manipulating another one and is like at war with another one. That consumes entire episodes and like chunks of my life. I just want it to end.
Well, how many episodes we got left? 25. So
Yeah,
there's still a lot more going on.
yeah,
There's still a
that's
lot
true.
more gossip going on. So speaking of that, there's still one more character that we haven't talked about. First end.
Oh yeah, but he leaves pretty fast in the first
Yeah.
of these 5 episodes in episode 11.
And he gonna live for 4 years. That's what I remember.
Yeah, that's what the narrator says. It'll be 4 years before he sets foot on French soil again.
I do think when he come back, he will be engaged with Marie Antoinette
Think so,
romantically.
huh?
Yes,
Oh,
I
you
think
don't mean
so.
engaged as in set to be married?
No. I mean just romantically.
Yeah,
Uh,
probably. I mean, I assume based on the way that he was introduced early on in the show that his destiny was going to be tied up with Marie Antoinette's and Oscar's.
yep.
I assume that he he and Marie Antoinette will have a secret thing going on when he comes back, and it'll probably
Yeah,
last for the majority of the show.
that's right.
In fact, he may be the force that kind of like puts her back on track,
Yeah.
or yeah, like makes her see sense, or turns her into
W- Well,
a woman who's not just obsessed with like dresses and
you know,
gambling.
consider how Marie Antoinette end up in real life. I think that he might be the one who contribute her to her destruction
Oh, you
more
think
than.
so, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Even though he's been portrayed as like a righteous character thus far, like he stood with Oscar when
Yeah,
Oscar was defending Andre.
yeah, but he also have a hint of like he can't control himself when he's around Marie Antoinette.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he
So
probably
yeah,
will end up being the one who like leads her to the guillotine.
yeah. Well, that's something for us to see how the show will handle his characters.
I guess. Yeah, I don't really care that much. Like because he's so closely tied to Marie Antoinette, I don't care that much about him. She's
That
just
that absolutely right. Yes.
there's a moment in episode 12 when Marie Antoinette she's thinking to herself about how whenever people call her names like the Rose of Versailles or the Flower of France,
Yep.
whatever all her titles are, whenever people are talking about how beautiful she is, it intoxicates her with joy.
Yep.
She
Yep.
literally
Yep.
says
Yep.
that. How shallow must you be for that to be the thing that's like giving your life meaning and purpose? I understand that she's lonely and that she's kind of trapped in a marriage that she doesn't like and people have expectations of her that she can't meet. She it's her life is tragic, but she
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be a very tragic figure, like
She just
as an individual.
yeah. Well, she just enjoy like all the little things, all the practice and all the meaningless stuff, and she end up like missing all the real connections. That's what I think. That's what I get.
Yeah, You
I
know how Oscar? Go ahead. So, I'm sorry, I've been talking too much. What were you gonna say?
no, that's alright. I do feel like Oscar think about her. I do feel that she's tragic. She's alone, but it doesn't justify for all the careless action that she have been doing so far.
Yeah,
Yep,
she's
I'm done. I'm done.
she's I understand that she's got her role to play in how the French Revolution shapes up. Like she needs to be kind of frivolous and stupid. She needs to be
Yep.
portrayed that way so the story can run its course. But I just wish that she were a little like when she puts Oscar on that thing. What is it? It's like disciplinary leave or something for a month. When she does that,
Yeah.
it's to stop people from trying to entrap Oscar because she
Yeah,
cares for
that
Oscar.
actually very thoughtful of her. Yeah,
Yes, it is. I want to see like a little more of that and a little less of her being such a nitwit. Because even though she is a nitwit and that's the way she needs to be, uh, it's not really entertaining to watch. Nor is it particularly artistic the way that the show goes about showing us how dumb she is.
that's right. And I feel like that I can still tolerate her right now. I don't know if I can still tolerate her for the rest of the 25 episodes that we're gonna watch.
Yeah. But I think the show will start moving a little bit more towards the revolutionary perspective.
Yep,
Get Robespierre more involved.
that's
Um,
right. Now that Oscar realized like how poor, how miserable on the French citizenship, like 96% of French
yeah,
are.
are poor.
That's something I actually looking forward to see like how Oscar deal with all that.
Yeah. All the moments when Oscar has been like in awe of Marie Antoinette, specifically, um, in the first chunk of episodes, she was like, I don't want to babysit a brat.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the next chunk of episodes, she was like she was pro Marie Antoinette because she wasn't, she was true to herself. She was honest and she
Yep.
followed her heart.
Uh-huh.
But I I got tired of that in these episodes. I was
Yeah.
I'm ready for her to like realize that Marie Antoinette is bad for the country.
Well,
Um,
she actually realizing it now at the
yeah,
moment that we speak right now. So yeah, I I hopefully like like their chemistry, the dynamic gonna change later on.
yeah. I'm just glad whenever Oscar is like, you remember when she kicks Andre's chair out from under him when he makes
Yep.
some
Yeah.
snide
Yeah. Yeah.
comment about Marie Antoinette? Like every time I see that, I'm just like, come on, Oscar, don't do this, don't do this. Just hurry up and wise
Did-
up. I mean, at least that proves that I'm interested in Oscar's character. You know.
hmm That's right. I think she got it more complex now, and that is a good thing.
Yeah, I like Andre as well. Um,
Not really that
the
keen on Android, but
the scene
he's alright.
the scene before the duel where they're both remembering about like the stuff that they buried under the oak tree, their
Yeah.
favorite toys as kids.
Uh-huh.
I really like that scene because he names two toys like a top
Yeah.
and something
And
else.
then he named the stuff. She named the stuffed animal as well.
Yes. So it was clear, and she even denied remembering what he was talking about
Yeah.
earlier in their conversation. So it's clear that like she really values whatever friendship or whatever bond she has with Andre. And
Yeah.
I think Andre does too, and I think he's going to end up as a tragic figure in that his affections can't be returned because of Oscar's like place in society, and
Yeah.
because he's probably going to end up dying to save her life or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm still investing to see how Rosalie gonna grow as a characters, how she impact the stories.
Yeah, because we know she's
But
royalty now.
yeah, but as a character, she's not that good.
Oh no, I mean not
Yeah.
many of the characters in this show are very good in in when you're viewing them through a lens
But
of, well, how believable, how lifelike, or how how much depth
yeah,
does the character have?
like all the Oscar who have like a depth in her, and I agree with you that Andre as well. But apart from that, like all the other characters are just one note.
Yeah, pretty much. In spite of that, though, I am interested to see where the story goes. Like I already know how the French Revolution ends up, but I want to see the route that the show takes to get there.
That's right.
Um, and I view the show as kind of a history lesson, not for the French Revolution, but the way that anime used to look.
I agree with you. Yes.
I'm gonna be interested to see, especially how the show changes, because there was a director change right in the middle.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Dazaki actually takes over on episode 20 or episode 21. He's the guy who did Ashita no Joe.
All right.
Um, and he's kind of thought of as a legendary TV anime director, not so much a
Wow.
filmmaker.
So maybe the second half of the show will be what people remember as a masterpiece. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. The thing is, I'm already seeing a bunch of stuff that I know Dazaki is famous for, like those postcard endings where it freezes on a frame and changes the shading up and it looks like a painting, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a technique that he really implemented.
Oh.
So the show already kind of has some of his visual stylings, but I wonder if it's going to get pushed to like Ikuhara kind of lengths in the second
Oh.
half.
You know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Hikuhara for me. I personally view Ikuhara as a math genius.
Yeah.
So like.
Well,
no
you
one
would
can
have to
compare
be.
to him.
Yeah, you'd have to be to come up with the stuff that he does.
Oh my god.
I've seen all of his work except for Utena.
Yeah, and Utena is regarded as his best.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna need maybe that can be the show that we do after this one.
Yeah.
Although I might need a break from this style
Yeah, that's right.
for a bit, but we can come back to Utena eventually.
Yep. All right. Meanwhile, we still have 5 episodes left before we reach the middle half, the
Right.
middle of Rose of Versailles.
Yeah.
All right. Looking
I
forward
hope
to
that
that.
I hope that in the next 5 episodes Robespierre shows up in every single one and just dominates like half the episode just talking. I just want to like listen to him talk about stuff. Less gambling, please. Less fake pregnancies, please.
All right. I'm really glad that the climbing stuff, the gambling, they actually doesn't show much about that. It's just
Yeah.
like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. It confines it to one episode, basically.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not going back anytime soon.
I don't know. Maybe when Ferrison returns, they're gonna hole up in their little gambling and love nest, and they'll just stay there until people come for their heads once the revolution is underway.
Yeah. Well, as a bottom line, let's see. This week I consider anime is alright. It's good. It's not. It's not bad. It's not that good. I particularly like the episodes of Hisune no Masatan. Megalobox was alright. What else? Hinamasuri. It's alright. It's solid.
Yeah.
It does. It's the what it does. And Piano no Mori actually was a step up from the second episodes.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed Piano no Mori more than I did a few of the other shows that we talked about this
Yeah.
week at least.
All right, so yeah, that a pretty solid week for me, anime wise.
Yeah, I mean, for me too. Although I really don't care about currently airing. I mean, I'm in the middle of another show, and I just wanna watch that and like forget that everything else exists.
All right.
But
Hope-
there's some good stuff being pumped out this season.
Yeah, well, you enjoy like 23 episodes of the original Galactic of a Legion of Galactic Heroes, which is I think very good,
Yeah,
rewarding.
Oh, when you said good, I was about to ask, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it at all.
Oh boy,
But
it's
yeah.
if you ever watch it, strap in.
Oh, right.
It's it'll actually benefit you having seen Rose of Versailles and like understanding that anime doesn't have the most nuanced view of the nobility,
Yep.
like the noble class, that it has a real axe to grind there. It'll help you. You're watching Legend of Galactic Heroes right now, so it'll probably help you when it gets to the part where they're all just like sitting around drinking wine and being complete asshats. It'll get there.
Well, yeah. Meanwhile, I will have to watch the whole seasons of the original Idolmaster and Bunny Drop for for my old project.
Right.
So hopefully I will get by. I will survive.
Good luck with Idolmaster.
Yeah.
People
All right
love idol
then.
anime. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine. All right. Thank you for listening, guys.
Thanks
And
everybody.
we will see you next week.
Okay.
All right. Bye.